It's game time, right here, right now.
Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be watching. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is a District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup sponsored by Hollywood Pizza and Century Services and Support, and features the number 2 seed 9-1 Lewisburg Green Dragons and the visiting Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jim Lesko. Alongside me is my brother Dan Lesko. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sideline, and together the three of us are coming to you live from Alumni Field in Milton. Again, we talked about this a little bit last week and maybe the confusion, playing the Lewisburg Green Dragons in Milton. But again, this is the second round of District 4 Class AAA playoffs here in Pennsylvania as the Red Tornadoes take the field, looking to reach a district championship game, Dan, in their first season in AAA.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great game here, Jim. We talked about it, the prowess of this Lewisburg Green Dragons team. 9-1, that one lone loss to a familiar foe that the Red Tornadoes fell to just 2 weeks ago, the Shamokin Indians. So Lewisburg coming in, they had I believe that loss was in week 8. They bounced back in probably week 9, I think. They bounced back in week 10, and then they had a bye week. So they're going to be fresh, they're going to be rested. But the Red Tornadoes, carrying some of that momentum from last week. The offense found its way, and the defense played tremendously last week against Milton at home. So now we're here in Milton to play against this 2-seeded Green Dragon team, and the Red Tornadoes are just hoping to get a little bit more of the same what they had last week offensively.
Yeah, you talked about the defense first, so I kind of want to start there.
Absolutely.
You look and you think about up the middle. We talk about it a lot. It's Cricky at the nose guard.
Yep.
It's Miller and Clokus, and then whether it's Kimsel or Belichick behind them, kind of right up the middle. Between Clokus and Miller, you've got, 204 tackles between the two of them.
Yeah.
107 of those being Clokus, which sets a new freshman record here at Mount Carmel. And when the Red Tornadoes aren't stuffing the run, they're getting after the quarterback, too, as one of the bookends, Matt Belichick, one of our captains tonight. Matt's got 17 hurries, which is also a single-season record here at Mount Carmel.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, Dan, as you kind of alluded to it, if you look at that defense versus this Green Dragon offense, what are you kind of expecting to see? What do you think some of the matchups are worth watching? Well,
I definitely think that the Red Tornadoes are going to be able to get after the quarterback. That quarterback being number 2, Chase Winrick. He's a senior. He's got pretty decent numbers throughout the season, but they don't throw it a whole lot. 51 completions, 805 yards, 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. But they really haven't had to. And I think the main thing that the Red Tornado defense is going to have to focus on is stopping the run. You're going to have to shut it down in the middle. And it's all, for the Dragons, it's all led by number 3, Jeremiah Davis, who's got 185 carries for 1,641 yards and 21 touchdowns on the year. Pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah, for sure. And you see the teams come out there. So, Dan, you talked about maybe Winrick doesn't throw it a whole lot.
No.
Marshalik, of course, he can throw it a whole lot. But as you see, and for those of you watching, you see the Red Tornadoes won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so we'll see that Green Dragon offense first here tonight. But for those of you that are listening, you might already be able to tell there's a little bit of wind here tonight, Dan.
Yeah.
So when you talk about what offenses are going to do, you wonder how much of that, even if they want to throw, is going to be impacted by the wind.
And, Jim, even though the Green Dragons do not throw the ball a whole lot, I think a ground and pound type of football game benefits the Red Tornadoes. It's going to shorten the game, lengthen the time of possessions for both teams, and I think that gives I feel pretty good about the Big Reds defense. They're just going to have to find a way to slow down Davis.
Captains on both sides there as they came out for the coin toss before. For the Red Tornadoes, it was the three standard captains of Belichick, Blessing, and Bailey. And number 18, Landon Adams, was the game captain for tonight. On the Green Dragon side, you had Wenrick, the quarterback, Yinaretti, number 4, Schumacher, and Crane rounding out the 4 on the Green Dragon side. So again, it looks like for the Green Dragons, They're going to have number 13, Jalen Walker, number 3, Jeremiah Davis, and I want to say that's number 5, Coleman.
Yeah, I think you're right,
on
Jim.
the far side from us.
And you see Davis in that kind of that like quasi second line there. He's not the deep guy, and I think that's by design. Oh, wait, now they're just going to even out, go about 3 across there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Miller here, who's kicking off for the Red Tornadoes, Josh Miller. Little wrinkle here. See him trying to kick the ball away from Davis.
So Miller's kick. It's going to be angled. It's going to be Walker at about the 17-yard line. He's going to run right into Adams, who does a great job holding his line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 Green Dragons at the 29-yard line.
That's a tremendous job by Tate Adams, just staying in his lane all the way down the field. He broke down. He didn't let Walker, break his ankles, do any goofy stuff. He got a hold of him, wrapped him up, and held on until the cavalry came in. So this is, still pretty decent starting field position at the 29 for the Green Dragons. But, we talked about Davis. Davis, when he was a freshman, was all-state as a returner. So you want to keep the ball away from him.
And Dan, you talked to me about this all week, this interesting formation for the Green Dragons to start with. It's an I formation, it's a power I, but it's kind of an aligned power I. It's a stack, and it'll go to the second man through. That's Quinn Michaels, and he'll pick up maybe 3 out to the 32.
Yeah, and that's, realistically, that's a legitimate power I, because most of the time when you see teams run power I, it's an offset power I. That's a 4, the quarterback, fullback, tailback, and that's the Green Dragons. They'll do this a lot. And again, if this turns into a ground and pound game, get used to seeing this formation.
It'll be the same look from the Green Dragons. That's Davis all the way back, and it'll be Davis to the left side, and he's got a crease, and there he goes, and Jeremiah can run. Belichick has an angle. Can he catch him? Good stutter from Jeremiah Davis, but a huge run down inside the Red Tornado 20, down to the 16-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 52 on the first carry of the night for Jeremiah Davis.
Yeah, Jim, the way that play is designed is that's just, you get the, there's a little misdirection with the front 2 backs. Davis follows one of them through. They get the seal on the linebacker, and then he's just got to beat the defensive back, and he does that. Turns it into a huge play there for the Green Dragons.
This one is to the very first man through. That's Sean Field. Dan told me 31's a good number for a fullback.
It is.
And he's going to pick up maybe 2 inside the 15 to the 14.
Yeah, and those standbys in the middle there, Karicki, Miller, Clokus, they were all around the ball there on that tackle. Did a nice job of stopping Field up for a short gain. You got to keep an eye on Walker here as well. Manned up, he's got a little bit of a height advantage. See, maybe they throw the ball his way down here in the red zone.
Wenrick's thrown 7 touchdowns this season. 6 of them went to to Walker, but a good job there at Davis getting upfield despite some Red Tornado penetration, and a nice solid tackle by Kimsel right around the 10-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Davis did a really good job making a few guys miss there, but Kimsel did a good job coming up and filling there from the second level and keeping that to a minimal gain there for Davis.
It'd be more of a traditional I. It'll be 2 will shift to the right. It's a power side to Davis. Davis is going to bounce it outside. Can Kimsel get him? He's still on his feet. Touchdown, Green Dragons. Jeremiah Davis. 10 yards out, and it's 6-0 Green Dragons here. Just a few minutes gone by in the first quarter.
Jim, and if you're watching that there, you see Wenrick saw that. As soon as Davis bounced that to the outside, he saw that was going to turn into 6 points the whole way. He knew Davis only had one man to beat, and he likes his man in a foot race to the end zone, and he was right. Davis gets in there for 6.
Cone Hoover on for the extra point. And they have trouble, and it's going to be blocked by, I guess, more of a kind of just defending yourself at that point.
Yeah.
Little trouble there with the hold and the snap. And Dan, we kind of were a little bit curious about that early on.
Yeah, and I did not see number 4 coming off the field there. Yenneretti, we saw him in early time actually go down, and he was being tended to by the the training staff here for the Green Dragons, and Yennereddy's the normal holder, number 4. He's also one of the leading tacklers for the Green Dragons. That time around, you had number 1,
Matteo Carabello.
Matteo Cardello in there with the hold, and just a little bit of trouble getting it down. It looked like the snap was good. He received it well, just couldn't get it to stick right on the turf there, and Cooper ended up kicking it into the line.
Yeah, and if our numbers are right here, and usually they are, that's only going to be Cohen Hoover's 4th missed extra point on the season. So he's been very effective in that slot. But here we go now. We'll get a chance to see the Red Tornadoes offense. Again, in this D4 Class 3A semifinal matchup, sponsored by Hollywood Pizza. Kimzel and Kricki back deep. Looks like Matt Belichick and Morganti are at the second line at the 20. Hoover's got a little line drive. It's going to bounce. Kricki will take it at the 10 on a hop. He's going to try to get in the middle, and he does. Kricki's got some space, and he cuts back across the field. Can he get through? Oh, a great return by Cooper Kricki.
Yeah.
The only man that had a shot to get him was Coleman, and he did. But it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes inside the Green Dragon 40.
And that's a great start there for the Red Tornadoes. Good starting field position here. Now we're going to see how the Red Tornadoes come out. They're going to come out open, but I don't think it'll be long. If they don't have a whole lot of success opening it up, I don't think it'll be long until the Red Tornadoes tighten things back up and go base, you know.
It's Belichick and Delaney to the right. Adams by himself to the left. Bailey in that slot spot on the wing, but it's going to be Blessing up the middle. Blessing will have 3 down to the 36.
Yeah, that's, you know, a lot of times you like to have things opened up a little bit and start with that inside run. Maybe bring the safeties up a little. See that Lewisburg's going to play with 2 high safeties here.
And it's Blessing again, and that's the danger of the 2 high safeties. As Blessing will have a first down to about the 26-yard line to pick up a 10.
Yeah, I don't think if the Red Tornadoes have success running the ball up the middle, I don't think it'll be long until you see Coach Wicks make some adjustments there and go to a single high safety and bring one of those guys up to a linebacker spot. And it looks like they might be doing it right now.
It's a trip set to the left for Marshalik, but it's Blessing. Blessing in the Wildcat. Delaney comes in motion. Blessing fakes it to him, and he's going to keep it himself. But a nice play made by the leading tackler in that Green Dragon defense, number 22, Quinn Michaels.
Yeah, it gets Blessing there in the backfield for a loss. It's a really well-designed, I don't know if that was a designed blitz or if that was just a good read the whole way, but if it was a designed run blitz, it was designed perfectly to stop that play.
Quinn Michaels, we mentioned, the leading tackler on that defense, but not by a few tackles, by 30, as he's approaching the 100-tackle mark on the season. It's a low snap. Marshall gets it out quickly for Belichick, and it's high, incomplete. Now 3rd and 11 here for the Red Tornadoes. Ball on the 28-yard line.
Yeah, Belichick had the positioning. He was in a good spot there. Got the inside release. Throw was just a little high of him there.
And so, Dan, to your point, you see Max Kricki come in. He's going to take one of those tight end spots. Belichick will step into the other, and we're back in the shotgun double wing.
Because, I mean, this spot on the field, you got 2 downs.
Delaney comes in motion, but it's going to be Blessing off the left side, and he's going to keep churning his legs. Not as much there as perhaps he would have liked. He's still on his feet. A lot of activity. We'll see forward progress. He's going to have him down to about the 18-yard line, so it's going to be 4th and maybe 7.
The Red Tornadoes going to try and get a hard count here.
No motion there initially from the Green Dragons. They look to the sideline now. Again, they'll stay tight, but the Red Tornadoes can do a lot out of this formation. Marshall sends Blessing in motion, but it's a handoff to Delaney, and Delaney's got nowhere to go. Let's see who's getting up off the bottom of that pile, Dan. I think that's number 70, Hayes Schumacher, one of the captains, and he grabbed Delaney's ankle and wouldn't let go.
Yeah, I mean, very, very well designed. A good thought there by Coach Dara with that inside sally, but the Green Dragons, they saw some tape and they were ready for it, and they did a good job of defending it. And it's It's going to be a big drive here for the Green Dragons. They can go down and put points on the board here again, get a 2-score lead.
So the Green Dragons will open it up a little bit. There's going to be Field split out to the right and Davis to the left. It's Michael in the backfield with Wenrick. And it's going to be Michaels off the right side and spreading the Red Tornadoes out. Works a little bit as they pick up about 4.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you got to do sometimes. You go tight on one drive. Now this drive, they're going to start with things opened up, spread them out a little bit, get some couple easy yards up the middle.
It's like Shimko, Kricky, and Delaney are the 3 down linemen for the Big Red. Again, Miller and Clokus, the backers. Bilichik and Bailey are going to be those bookends. Lukuski and Delaney on the corners for right now. And Kimsel and Bilichik round out the back end of that Big Red defense. It's the triple stack eye, and it'll be Davis all the way in the back. And he's going to pump his legs, but a good job there. So he was getting up off the bottom of that pile. I think it might be Shimko. Is it?
I think it was Shimko.
Shimko, yep.
Yeah.
So it'll be stopped just short of the first down, 3rd and a foot.
Yeah, and I mean, you got that power eye backfield there. I don't think third and very short is a problem for you, but it doesn't look like they're going to stick with it.
No, just like that. You see Michaels come to the sideline. Again, Dan, we talked about it before with Kitchens and Walker. You spread the Red Tornadoes out a little bit here and just go back to what works.
Yeah.
The up man is very close to the quarterback, but it's a sneak. Wenrick's going to take it himself, and he should have a first down there.
Yeah, he does.
Wait for the official signal, but all indications point to a first down, and there it is. So 1st and 10, Green Dragons at the 34-yard line as we hit the midway point of the first quarter. They lead the Red Tornadoes 6-0 here in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup.
Yeah, and again, I talked about it earlier, how this, if this turns into a ground and pound type of game, it bodes well for the Red Tornadoes, but playing from behind, it doesn't help. So you got to try to get a stop here defensively and get some points on the board, and then you could start working on, winning that time of possession battle.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end Owen Fellon comes in motion to get a crackback block. It's Davis, and he's got a seam, and he's still on his feet. It was hit initially by Miller, and it'll be brought to the ground by Lukuski.
And credit to Lukuski. Fields was out in front there blocking. Sean Field, he's 5'7", 200-pound senior there, that fullback, and coming full speed at Lukuski, and he didn't blink. He stood in there, he took on the block, and then shed him and helped out getting in on that tackle.
See there, Michaels and Downs head back in as Kitchens and Walker come to the sideline. But Field, 5'7", 200 pounds, split out way wide. And it's going to be Michael to the right side, and a good job there by
Delaney.
The Red Tornadoes. I think it's Delaney crashing down the line and stopping Michaels before he can get started.
Real nice job there by Delaney, and Delaney's able to come down the line defensively there because of the blockage that Michaels ran into. So it's a great job by the left side, blocking everything up, not getting rutted out of there. And Delaney did a great job not getting too deep into the backfield, getting across the line of scrimmage, flattening out, and getting down there and make the tackle.
Now it's a 4-wide set. Wenrick by himself in the backfield. He motions Davis behind him. Now to his right. And it's going to be a quick toss to Davis. And Miller can't quite get him. Miller had a line on him, and Davis lowered his shoulder and did the rest. Pick up the first down out to the 46 for the Green Dragons.
Yeah, that push there by Davis. A nice job putting his shoulder down and finishing that run to get the first down.
So now Field in, Coleman to the sideline. You can see Coach Wicks swapping out personnel as he goes to get the looks he wants. It's Kitchen and Fellon split out to the left, Walker to the right. It was a wildcat formation, snapped it to Davis, who handed it to Field, gain of maybe a yard, and Dan, I got thrown off. Listen, give Coach Wicks credit.
Yeah.
Because I took a second to realize where was Wenrick, and then he started making his way to the opposite sideline, kind of a pre-snap motion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know that Wenrick was on the field. I was paying attention to the backfield there.
Well, he was about 5 yards behind Davis and Field.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the it was like a really deep pistol formation there, essentially. Something nice to set up later on for maybe a deep pass.
Yeah. 2nd and 9. Wenrick to throw, and he's looking for Walker, and he's got Walker. He's going to pick up a first down. Created a little space for himself there, and come back to the football to make the catch. It's 1st and 10. Green Dragons at the Red Tornado 35.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time in the NFL. If that's a designed back shoulder throw. I don't know if that's designed or if the wind just knocked that ball down so much. But Walker did a good job. Delaney in very good position, but Walker finds the ball first and comes back to it and it turns into a really nice completion there.
Now it's Quinn Michaels, and he tries to use the stiff arm, but that's not going to work on Matt Belichick. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no further.
Yeah, that's a great job there by Belichick. It's so hard to tackle somebody by their arm. You know, even if you get a hold of the jersey, it's a really nice job of getting a hold of that shoulder pad area there, that arm, and just pulling them down, hanging on.
Single receiver to the right, I formation behind Wenrick. Snap, and it's Davis. Davis is going to bounce to the left, but he's going to go right into the open arms of the Red Tornadoes' leading tackler, Jason Clokus.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 10 as we've got 2 minutes left in a very fast-moving first quarter.
Yeah, Jimmy, you know, I talked about it a little bit pregame. This reminds me somewhat of Coach Carm / Jazz Diminick type of run game. You get the I formation back there. You know, Coach Carm and Jazz, they like the split backfield, but you get the I formation, you get a little bend trap there. You get a linebacker, the fullback fills, you get a pulling guard try to kick out the zone there, and everything flows one way, and then Davis tries to cut it back. That time, Clokus defeats the puller and makes a nice tackle.
3rd and 10. Wenrick brings Coleman in motion, right to left. And the snap hits him, and the Red Tornadoes are on the football. The Red Tornadoes have recovered the football and will take over 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
And a huge break there for the Red Tornadoes. Seemed like the timing was off on that play from the beginning. It looked like Wenrick was looking for the motion before Davis was set, and everything kind of got thrown off there timing-wise. The snap it hit Coleman in his motion, and ball kind of just laid there on the ground helplessly for a minute or two before Clokus said, "You look a little cold, let me cover you up."
So shotgun double wing from Mount Carmel. It's going to be Blessing to the right side, and he's still on his feet. He's going to get out near the 45, and they'll mark him down just shy.
It's a great run there by Blessing. Gets up right behind Max Karicki, who's pulling around from the other side, from the back side there, the tight end spot. Just kind of stayed on his back through the hole and then found a little crease to get a couple more.
Looks like Delaney, Spears, Erb, Sheganowski, and Shimko on the offensive line for the Red Tornadoes. That's left to right, and this is a snap to Bailey, and Bailey's still on his feet into Green Dragon territory for a first down at the 48, or 48, excuse me.
Yeah, that's the Red Tornadoes. This is going to be their game tonight. Stay tight, play with pace, control the clock, stay on schedule. Haven't gotten to say that in a couple of years, Jim, but I like it. Stay on schedule.
See the first down called here. It's up to Bailey, and the Red Tornadoes have trouble, and now it's Green Dragon football, 1st and 10 at midfield.
And just like that, the Red Tornadoes give one back here to the Green Dragons. They had the momentum, they got the turnover, you get the first down, and then just a little bit of trouble there on receiving the snap, or the trouble was on the snap. You couldn't really tell, but the ball hit the ground, and credit to the Green Dragons being Johnny on the spot and hopping right on that.
This will be one receiver each way for Wenrick. He's got Michael in the backfield with him, but he's going to throw. He's looking for Walker, and he's going up top, and he's got him. He's got Walker. 1st and 10 inside the 15, all the way down to the 11. It's going to be a gain of 39 on the play.
And that's what you have to worry about, Jim. If you're the defensive back there for the Red Tornadoes, you get the the ball's thrown short last time. He comes back to it, gets the back shoulder throw. This time around, you're trying to defend the black shoulder throw. They put it out in front of him, and he runs underneath it.
We'll see if the Green Dragons rush to get a snap here, if they take their time. Wenrick looks and sees what's left in the quarter. He says that's a good place to end it. So after 12 minutes, the Green Dragons lead the Red Tornadoes 6-0, but they're once again knocking on the door here in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup.
Yeah, Jim, I mean, this has been kind of what we expected for the first quarter here. Maybe not so much with the 2 turnovers and, the Red Tornadoes not being able to get any points on the board there, but this is haven't seen the ball put in the air a whole lot. Two big plays here for the Green Dragons have proved to be big for them. None bigger than the most recent one, but realistically, this is a ground and pound game.
Once again, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Hollywood Pizza, sponsor for the first half of this matchup, and friendly reminder that as long as the Red Tornado season continues, Supper Club will be Thursday nights at Matucci's. It'll be 6:30 is the official start time, but if you want to get a seat, you got to get there early.
Yeah.
Doors open at 5:45, and honestly, I've seen people in there before that. So Supper Club's always a great time. You can hear from Coach Dara, members of the community, coaches, other coaches, players, cheerleaders, band members, TV studio. Oftentimes there's even a guest speaker. So again, if the Red Tornadoes are able to be victorious tonight and the season continues, there will be Supper Club next Thursday.
Yeah, I think this week's guest speaker was Frank Dabby Niglio.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Heard a lot of good things about Supper Club last night.
Always good things to be said. And right now, it's Davis. And Davis is powerful. He's going to drag some white jerseys with him down inside the 5 to the 4. So it'll be 2nd and 3 from the 4.
And the Dragons are going tempo here.
And Wenrick's going to keep this one himself. And you think he's going to be short of the first down. So it's going to wind up being 3rd and about a yard. But again, that 3rd and 1 is from the 2.
Yeah, Jim, did Clokas come over the top there and kind of flattened everything out? That was awesome.
Wenrick, this is Davis, and Davis is going to get the sideline, and he's not going to get the touchdown. Although I do believe he's going to have the first. He does. He does have a touchdown. My goodness. Okay, he must have extended the football.
Yeah, and the wherewithal to do that, Jim, is impressive. Davis fighting through tacklers there, and before he hits the ground is able to extend the ball over and get it into the end zone. It's a tremendous run by a tremendous back there. Nice play there to finish that drive off.
You see Coach Wicks keeps this offense out there. He's going to try to make up that point from the first quarter. He's got Michaels in the backfield and the Wildcat. Field and Wenrick are split to the right, but it's going to be Michaels. He's going to run it himself, and he's not going to get there. It looked like he had an option to throw it, but the Red Tornado defense held strong. And so with 11:19 remaining in the first half, it's going to be 12-0.
Yeah, it looked like Michael was looking out here at Field, and Chase Belichick getting great coverage out there on him, and he decided to pull it down and run and wasn't able to get it. But now we'll see the Red Tornadoes now down 2 scores here early, but got to find a way to get things going on offense. It seemed like the shotgun double wing was the way on the last drive until the costly turnover, which ended up turning into Green Dragon points.
Well, on the other side of the ball, the Green Dragon offense has looked very, very strong tonight as well. With,
Yeah.
In their own right, their only drive that hasn't ended in points was also due to a kind of a self-inflicted error with the snap hits Kitchens in motion. So here we go. Again, Bricky and Kimsel back deep. Colin Hoover will kick. Morgani, Belichick in that second line, and it's Adams and Lukuski right around the 30.
Yeah, we saw a really good return from Karicki last time around. See if they try to kick away from him this time.
Colin Hoover says, we'll just drill this through the back of the end zone.
Wow.
My goodness, what a kick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that ended 9.5 yards deep.
Yeah.
That's a great kick from Hoover. And, we've talked about it before. There's only really been one other team that was able to do that, and it neutralized the Red Tornadoes' return game, and that was the North Schuylkill Spartans there. Mengel,
Yep.
for the Spartans, and it proved costly for the Red Tornadoes. Starting at the 20 when, their first drive, Karicki took it to their own, the Dragons 40.
And so while the Red Tornadoes have their hands full here early at least, I'm going to get the play clock reset. We'll have to check on some other games from around the area as the night goes on too, Dan, including those Spartans. I believe they are at Northwestern Lehigh tonight.
Yes, they are. Yep. You've also got Jersey Shore in Shamokin for the district title.
And right now we've got Blessing out across the 25. A good run picks up 5.
Yeah, and that's what you got to get Blessing out in some space here. He can handle taking the shots and running the ball in between the tackles, but he's always looking to find that crease and to get outside. So if the Red Tornadoes are able to find a lane here for him, they can cut this deficit in half pretty quickly.
Delaney in motion. Problems with the count there for the Big Red. It'll cost him 5. And it looks like, Dan, we talked about it a lot last week about the versatility of that offensive line for Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
Looks like Adam Demko's in there now at the center spot, which
Okay.
moves Bumps to right guard. Shimko's the right guard, and on the left side it's going to be Delaney. I think that's Shiganowski. I think that's still 76.
Yes, it is.
So to go back to 2nd and 9 at the 21. Marshall is Blessing in the backfield with him. It's Bailey and Delaney. But it's a snap to Bailey, and Al's going to fight all the way up. He's still on his feet. He's going to get to the 30-yard line. It's going to be probably a couple yards short of a first down, or a couple of feet short of a first down. Sorry, we got a lot of wind going on up here.
They're giving it to him, Jim. He's got the first. They're moving the chains. He got the 30, so that's going to be a first down. Nice job there. And I like Coach Dara going back to that. They had the fumble on the last drive on that same play. Let's go back to it, show them we're not afraid to run it again. We're not going to stop doing what we do. And it turns into a really nice gain there by Bailey. Good fight to get the first down.
Blessing up the middle. It's a good lead block there from Demko out to the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and that handoff, Marshall takes the snap and then kind of sidesteps and hands that ball to Blessing pretty much straight off the center. That's a zero dive, essentially, and that's good job there. Oh,
and now
boy.
the snap, the Red Tornadoes need to just fall on it, and Blessing will. But my goodness, another self-inflicted wound for the Big Red.
Yeah.
It's going to send the football all the way back to the 13. Nope, they're going to move it again to the 12-yard line.
Jeez Louise.
And so 2nd and 5 is going to turn into 3rd and 28.
Yeah, and again, the Red Tornadoes just little, like you said, Jim, self-inflicted wound there. High snap. Ball goes over the head there, and now you're looking at a 3rd and forever.
Into the wind, no less.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard to throw that ball to the sticks.
Yep. Marshall, they're going to run essentially a draw to Karicki, and Karicki does everything he can. He gets back out to the 25, so he'll pick up 13. I'll give him the 24. He'll pick up about half of what he needed, and the Red Tornadoes will likely have to punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Red Tornadoes, all that does is give Karicki some room to punt, but we don't see the punt team out there yet.
It looks like there's a flag.
Okay.
So it's going to be a hold against the Red Tornadoes. I have to think Coach Wicks will decline this.
Yeah.
So now we'll see the punt team. Not exactly sure where the flag was. I
didn't see it down.
Not quite. Oh, there it is. All right. It was pretty deep. It was all the way back at the 9.
Yeah.
So okay, couldn't see it right away. But again, as much as we were talking about the difficulty for Marshall having to throw the football into this headwind, now Karicki's got to punt into it.
Right.
It's a good snap. He does do a nice job of getting off a little knuckler. Now, unfortunately, it takes a bounce that doesn't benefit the Red Tornadoes a whole lot.
No.
I think the bounce might have cost them 2 yards, but it was a good job by Karicki to get that punt out of there.
Yeah.
And the Green Dragons are going to start another drive around midfield, just barely on their own side. But there is a Green Dragon down around the Mount Carmel 18-yard line.
Yeah, it was one of the many Green Dragons that were around the ball when it got kicked. You're right, though. Ricky did a good job getting that out, but the Green Dragons brought some pressure there. We'll have to see who it is when we... Let's see, number 34.
Tyler Downs.
Yes, Tyler Downs.
Downs is up and off the field under his own power, so that's always good to see. Again, it's always good to see a WKMC TV broadcast here. Again, WKMC TV is a student-run TV studio out of the Mount Carmel Area School District, led by Mr. Steve Sakaitis and Gary Trefsker. And we're able to kind of provide these sights and sounds courtesy of a lot of our sponsors and benefactors. Tonight in the first half, we want to make sure we thank Hollywood Pizza in Mount Carmel for their support. So it's a tight eye. That'll be a shift from left to right to move the power. And it's going to be Davis to the right side. And Miller will drag him down, but Davis runs hard.
He does.
He's going to pick up 5 when, really, I don't know if he had a whole lot of business, Dan, picking up more than 2.
No, Davis isn't going to go down on that initial contact. The first hit isn't going to take him down. You got to drag him down. He runs tough.
2nd and 5 with 7:55 left here in the second quarter.
We'll see now again the Red Tornadoes were able to come up with a turnover 2 drives ago. Certainly could use one here to maybe spark that offense. Again, it's the same look from the Green Dragons. And it's going to be Davis to the power side again. And he's still on his feet. And he's going to have a first down to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, Davis running tough, just finding ways to get up in the crease there, and does a really nice job. You know, he's getting up in that briar patch, and you know he's getting hit with some thorns, but he stays on his feet.
Well, we talk about it a lot. Some of these really good running backs, and Davis certainly qualifies, they have an ability to get skinny.
Yeah.
Kind of, there doesn't look like there's much of a hole there, and then all of a sudden they come out the other side.
Right. I'll see him go opposite here.
Green Dragons. Wenrick's
not.
going to throw for the first time, and he's got Walker. He's going to go up and incomplete. An unbelievable recovery by Jalen Delaney to turn around and get after that football.
Yeah, that's a great job by Delaney. It looked like Delaney slipped initially when Walker made his move on the little fade route there, but Delaney, that ball hung up there. Again, this wind is really affecting things. Ball hangs up in the air a little bit longer than maybe Wenrick would have liked it to, and as Walker's trying to pull it in, Delaney gets there and separates Walker and the football.
2nd and 10. 6:53 left in the first half. The Green Dragons lead 12-0. It's Davis to the right side, and he's going to run into Delaney. Jagger, that is, who's going to stop him. But there is a flag on the play, and that's thrown in the area of offensive holding, but we'll wait for the official call. And it will be holding against the Green Dragons.
And there wasn't much of a gain there, but I think you got to think that Coach Dara is going to take him back.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right move by Coach Dara.
Yeah, and they're going to take it back. So it's going to end up being, I think, a 2nd and 19.
And so we talked about it.
2nd and 20.
Talked about it a little bit, and it'll be off the field for the moment. When the Green Dragons go double tight, it's Lorenz in there as well. But now Coleman comes in motion across the formation. And Wenrick's going to throw, and he wants to get it out of his hands quick. It's high, but Walker comes down and makes a great catch. Now he cuts across the field. Walker still on his feet, down inside the 20. They're going to mark him down at the 15. What a great play by Jalen Walker.
Yeah, Walker's a big body there, so that ball does come out high, but he's able to go up and get it, and then just does a really nice job of kind of finding the back of some green jerseys, getting behind him. They set up a little wall there. He decides to take it to the sideline, which had all the Red Tornadoes were converging on him in midfield, so he got a little extra out of that.
You know, on 2nd and 20, they pick up about 35. Now Davis comes back with Wenrick in the backfield. And it'll be Davis. And he's still on his feet, and Davis is in his third touchdown of the night. And it's 18-0 Green Dragons.
Wow. This Green Dragon offense has found its stride here in the first half. They've done a tremendous job of just finding ways to defeat this Red Tornado defense, one play at a time, and they've worked their way down the field every drive. And you're right, Jim. The only thing that slowed them down so far, the only thing that has kept them from possibly having 4 scores on the board, is their one lone turnover, the fumble.
And now more problems with the extra point for the Green Dragons. And again, on what's been a very good night for Lewisburg, perhaps that's the one place Coach Wicks would like to see things go a little bit differently for him.
Yeah.
So my goodness, it has been an interesting 17 minutes of play here. Well, I guess closer to 19, we should say.
Yeah.
We're just over the halfway point in the second quarter. And again, the Red Tornadoes, if you go back and look over the last couple weeks, again, you think about the game against Shamokin, the Red Tornadoes are unable to find the end zone, and they come out against Milton the next week and score 55, and a lot of that in the first half. That 0 on the scoreboard feels like a little bit of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Through the first quarter and a half here, the Red Tornadoes having some of those similar challenges on the offensive side of the ball to they had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, penalties, a fumble lost, and then a high snap to give up a lot of yardage there has kind of a lot of self-inflicted wounds on that offensive side of the football for the Red Tornadoes.
Hoover's kick. This one's a little bit higher, so it'll go a little shorter. Cricky from the 3. Cricky had a good return the last time he was able to return one. And he's got another shot here. He's still on his feet, out across the 35 to the 36. A nice job by Cooper Cricky to give the Red Tornadoes good field position to start.
Yeah, that's a good job there by Cricky. And again, good field position here for the Red Tornadoes to start. They started their first drive of the game in Green Dragon territory. And again, they've had opportunities with some turnovers and stuff like that, and have not been able to capitalize on that. You got to see some points here before the half if you're the Big Red.
So now we'll see. The Red Tornadoes going to open it up a little bit. Adams to the left, Delaney to the right. Blitchick in at tight end to the left side. Bailey just behind him, and it's going to be Cricky. He's going to go right into the teeth of that Green Dragon defense and pick up 3.
Yeah, and that's who else but number 22, Michael's in there on the tackle.
It's one thing I've learned over the last 7 years of doing this, Dan. Guys don't have 100 tackles by accident.
No.
They're always around the football.
Yes, they are. You see it evidenced even on the Red Tornado side, right, with Clokus and Miller, always around the football.
It'll be 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard gain from Cricky. Marshall to throw. He's looking for Delaney, and it's high, incomplete. 3rd down.
And Delaney had some big bodies bearing down on him there as well, with that ball being a little high. But again, this is a Red Tornadoes, in a 3rd and long situation here. And since Blessing fell on that high snap and kind of got up a little slow, we haven't seen him back in the game yet. So curious to see what's going on there.
Marshall gets it out, and it's high again and incomplete. Now it's going to be 4th down, and you have to think Cricky's going to punt here.
Yes, he is.
Here comes Max. Again, Kitchens was out there in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, credit to this Green Dragons defense. They've watched the film. They know what the Red Tornadoes want to do on the offensive side of the ball, and they've had an answer for every different formation, different look the Red Tornadoes have given them.
Low knuckler from Cricky. This one does take a bounce that favors the Red Tornadoes. And it'll be down at the 28-yard line. So with 4:48 left, the Dragons certainly have an opportunity to extend what is already a nice 3-score lead.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you're the Red Tornadoes, you gotta make a decision here. You know, because right now you're getting beat in the run game, and you're getting beat with them throwing the ball. You got to make a decision. You have to find a way to take one of those away. So, realistically, I think the biggest problem that you're going to have, and the thing that's going to eat the clock up, is Mr. Davis in the backfield there. It's always easier said than done, but you got to commit to trying to stop him.
And there's something here that the Green Dragons like when they split Davis out and then they bring him in motion back into the backfield. Somehow they're getting a look that they like, and now it's a sweep to Coleman, and Coleman's going to have the corner, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds, but he's going to pick up 6 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting little play. That's like a jet touch pass there from the Green Dragons. They get Coleman, comes in motion, he puts his foot in the ground and comes back across for that little underneath, like a shovel pass.
So we'll have to ask the official scores if this is also viewed as a completion for Wenrick here.
Right. It always is in NCAA.
Trips left. Davis, the only man in the backfield with Wenrick. And it'll be Davis, and he's got some space, and now it's a foot race. Now there's a flag, it's gonna come back.
Yeah, and it looked like it was real close to the play there. Morgani was the one that was able to break free and kind of run Davis out of bounds, but I think Morgani was the one being held. So that was right at the point of the play there.
And I remember, Dan, we were prepping for this week, and we were looking at some numbers and some film, and I saw, we didn't get a chance to see any of the Mifflinburg film necessarily for Lewisburg.
Right.
But you saw the numbers, and I believe, if I'm correct, Jeremiah Davis had 19 carries for 337 yards. Wow. And I thought, how do you do that? Well, we kind of see it a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Davis is explosive, and when he finds a crease, it's going to be hard to run him down. We saw earlier on in the season there were some defenses that were able to kind of bottle him up, keep him from getting out. But as the season's progressed, he's gotten stronger.
Kitchens in motion. Wenrick going to throw. He's looking for Kitchens on an out, and he's got him. And it's incomplete. Well, they're going to rule it a fumble, but it's going to bounce harmlessly out of bounds for the Green Dragons. So good job in coverage there by Belichick, and a good job going after the football.
Yeah. That's a tough one, though, for the Big Red, that ball ends up being incomplete, or a completion and a fumble and not an incompletion, because that's going to be a nice little gain there for the Green Dragons and put them back to a 3rd and manageable here after the holding penalty on 2nd down.
3rd and about 5, and the Green Dragons are going to take their first time out of the half with 4:12 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Again, in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup sponsored by Hollywood Pizza in the first half for us tonight. And again, the Lewisburg Green Dragons are the 2 seed, 9-1 on the season. The only blemish, a close loss to the Shamokin Indians, in which they trailed by as many as 17. Yeah. But I believe they had 2 opportunities with the football and a chance to take the lead. So the Dragons were able to storm back, but still no slouch at 9-1, and they're showing why here early with a 3-score lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jim. I mean, this is a tough team, and they're not tremendously big up front, but they've been finding a way to kind of slow down the Red Tornadoes' inside run game enough that they're making it hard. It's tough sledding for the Red Tornadoes to get anything going at this point.
So again, now that we've talked about it a lot, the Red Tornadoes will get the ball to start the 2nd half. So you have to think, if you're on that sideline, if you're rooting for the kids in white jerseys tonight, you got to start with a stop here. You got to get the football back and score before the half. Trying to cut it to 2 scores, and then going to the locker room knowing you're getting the ball, and a lot of things can happen. But it starts on this play right here as Davis comes back into the backfield, but he's not going to stop. It's a quick screen play, or excuse me, like a bubble screen. The ball is out, and again, it's going to be covered up by the Green Dragons, but it's going to cost them about 5 yards. It'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah, there's a Green Dragon down on the play here as well. And
again, we're doing process of elimination here. Because you assume it's a receiver, so I'm looking for 5'11" and 13, right?
I think it might be 5.
If it's 5, that's Coleman.
Yeah, we don't want to assume, but I haven't been able to find him in the mass here. But while he's being tended to here, I just got some score updates. Now these are from about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
But as of 15 minutes ago, Troy was ahead of Southern Columbia 13-0 up there at Mansfield University. They're playing tonight. Montoursville was leading Danville 10-7.
Wow.
And Jersey Shore up 14-7 against Shamokin.
Ooh.
So we'll keep an eye. I'll see if maybe I can get a little bit more of an updated thing here.
That's Kitchens.
Yeah.
As he gets up and he'll make his way off the field. So certainly hope whatever's going on with Mr. Kitchens that he's able to recover and get back out there tonight.
Little update here. Troy now leading Southern Columbia 19-0.
Yeah. So those.
Danville has taken the lead back from Montoursville up 14-10, and Jersey Shore still ahead of Shamokin 14-7.
Colin Hoover will punt. First time tonight, we'll see that. Morgani.
And Delaney.
I was trying to see, is that 6 or 4 or 12? The Red Tornadoes coming after the punt. They're blocking. It's blocked. And it's going to be caught by Belichick. It's touchdown Mount Carmel.
And
Belichick snags it on a hop. My goodness, was it Miller on the block?
I don't know if it was Miller. It might have even been Belichick on the block. They were all kind of close there. They went after that, Jim, and that had to be by design. Because you saw, while we were looking back here at the returners, Morgani, as the snap count was going, was getting closer and closer. He was moving up. He was creeping up there, trying to be that second line of defense there. And what a big play there for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, that's huge.
My goodness. Wow.
Wow,
that's
right.
A shot of life. And now Shoppy on for the extra point. It's a good snap. It's a good hold. And the kick is good.
You see the way the wind moved that ball in the air. I mean, credit to Shoppy. He punched it through, but as that ball hung up in between the uprights, it took a hard right turn
it
there.
Did.
But that's a wow, Jim. The Red Tornadoes get their first defensive stop. They go after the punt, and what a play. I mean, they get the block, and Belichick, that ball went way up in the air.
Well, I'm looking,
and that hit the ball and bounced right into Belichick's arms.
And I'll have to talk to Jose, because coming into tonight, the Red Tornadoes had 7 return touchdowns on the season, which is the most since 2012.
Okay.
Now I'll be curious how that's scored. Is it because it's a block? Is it a fumble recovery?
It's got. I would think that it's a block return for a touchdown.
Yeah, I'll just be curious if it's
like a defensive touchdown or if it's a special teams touchdown. Yeah, I get that, and that'll be up to Jose how he scores that one. But what a huge play there for the Red Tornadoes. Now the defense, they got their first stop of the night. Maybe they can build off of some of that momentum. But first thing they got to do here is they got to get a good punt here from Mr. Miller, or a kick here from Miller, and see if they can pin the Dragons deep.
And you've heard the wind in our headphones all night, no doubt. You can see the flags, and now you see the Red Tornadoes are going to have Ben Miller hold for Josh Miller to kick. Due to the wind, and Dan reminds me of the changes the NFL has made where you can have 12 guys on the field now for that.
Yeah, not going to be like that tonight, though. Miller's going to have to hold this one and then pop up and get down there in his lane and try and make a tackle.
Oh, hold on, the official.
And I'm wondering if it's Miller's alignment, because technically you can't have any part of your body. Oh, it's the alignment of the.
Too many guys on one side of the field. Then I think if Ben Miller is technically to the right of the kicker, it was kind of an overloaded set.
Yeah.
But now look, now the Red Tornadoes, seeing that move had to be made, they want to switch things around. And, hold on, Tate Adams may see something that he likes.
Yeah.
He's going to come all the way down and let Josh Miller know what he sees.
I think Tate Adams sees a big green area down there around the 20-yard line.
And that's where Miller's trying to get it, but it's going to be drilled out of bounds. So it'll be 1st and 10, Green Dragons all the way up at the 40.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one there for Miller. You know, you get that little tidbit of advice there from your senior out there, Tate Adams, and you try and get it there. But this wind has not been cooperating with anyone tonight, as you can absolutely hear it in our headsets here. It's been a little bit of a breeze up here, and not for the Red Tornadoes. It hasn't been a breeze though.
Actually, wait, the 45. Excuse me.
So they get,
which I think it's where the
put
ball.
some penalty yards on that as well.
I think it's the option of the better of the two, where the ball was out of bounds.
It would normally be a 35 though.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. I think it's better of the two.
Yeah.
I think the ball kind of was ruled out of bounds at the 45.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now it's Davis, and Davis is going to be grabbed by Shipko, and he's going to take him to the ground. And again, as we've seen throughout the season, you wonder, Dan, does that special teams play spark the defense a little bit?
And it should. And I mean, that's a really, really well defended play there by the Red Tornadoes on a well-designed play there by the Green Dragons. Again, that's that bend trap. You get Davis. He takes the handoff to the left. He wants to come back to the right, get behind some blockers. But Shimko also got behind those blockers and brought him down for a nice tackle.
Walker, single receiver, split to the left. He's got Delaney, who drops and gives him a little bit of space. It's a pitch to that side, and it's Davis, and Davis is going to be strung out. A good job there by Matt Belichick.
Yep.
And it looks like Kimsel as well to not let Davis cut up field. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds.
That's a really good job there by the Red Tornado defense.
Yeah, they're going to say he only got to the 48, so it's going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
And we're under 3 minutes left here in the first half.
And now, like as this wind's picked up, Jim, it's going to really make things difficult in the passing game. So I'm curious to see if the Green Dragons stick with putting the ball on the ground, or if they'll take a shot. I don't think you'll see them take too many deep shots the rest of the game, but they might look at Walker here maybe on a slant route again.
And Wenrick is going to throw, and that's exactly what it is. It's a post, and it's high, incomplete. Good coverage by Delaney,
yeah,
and now it's 4th down.
That's very well defended in the defensive backfield there by the Red Tornadoes. And again, you get the stop, you block the punt, you get 6, you come back out, you get another stop, and this is how you build momentum. Now, I think the Dragons will probably be prepared for the punt block this time around. We'll see some discussion going on with the officials here. Not sure what's going on there, but wondering if the clock didn't stop initially with the incompletion.
Wait and see. Haven't necessarily. You can see they're trying to sign 250. 250 is what they want on the clock. Okay.
Yeah, so 8 additional seconds ran off the clock there, I think.
So no complaints from the Big Red sideline, and the clock reset here. And again, Dan, to your point, I'm curious if the Red Tornadoes are going to go after this one, or because this is a spot in the field where you might fake it.
Well, yeah, I think around midfield it's hard to kind of go after it.
Right.
And it looks like Lewisburg's got a little bit of a different alignment.
It looks like a
max
protect. Yeah,
punt,
there's no gunners, which again, you got Morgani back there. If you can get the football
and find that wall. Yep. That's where they always do. You see the backs of white jerseys and you get to them, but we'll see here. We're trying to get this clock squared away. We're closer. We went from 30 minutes down to 3 minutes. Trying to get to 2 minutes and 50 seconds here. We got to remember too, though, this isn't Lewisburg's home field, so they're probably trying to figure out the clock just as well. And there we go. Now we're set to play.
A sarcastic cheer cuts across the crowd, which is always my favorite.
Yes.
And there's the snap. You see no real rush from the Red Tornadoes, but such a good punt by Hoover. Morgani's just going to get, and it takes the left. Morgani does what you're supposed to do, which is not field that punt inside the 10. And my goodness, it couldn't have taken a better bounce for the Green Dragons.
I mean, that is a perfect coffin corner punt. You can't do it any better than that.
What a great job by Cone Hoover.
Oh, but it's not going to count. There's a procedure penalty on the Green Dragons.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is going to negate that beautiful punt. And now, I mean, back another 5 yards. Instead of that ball landing at the 8, maybe it lands at the 13, and Morgani decides to field it.
Well, what's interesting about that is that flag. I mean, listen, we missed the flag, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I saw 22 kids out there that were going about their business like that ball had just been down, bounced out of bounds at the 2-yard line. I mean, Hoover was coming to the sidelines. There was...
And I'm wondering, usually those procedure penalties are called by the side judges. You know, not enough guys on the line of scrimmage, whatever it may be. And sometimes they'll just drop it, you know, at their feet. And with the max protect punt, there's no gunners, there's nobody out there on the outside. So realistically, nobody may have seen it.
So now we'll see. Hoover's got great hang time on his punts. That's going to be another good one, but Morgani might have a shot here. He's going to field it, and he has trouble with it, and it's going to go out of bounds. But still, it's about 16 yards better for the Red Tornadoes than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, a 5-yard penalty gives the Red Tornadoes 16 yards of field position. So realistically, Morgani turns into a catcher there.
Yeah.
He's the backstop. That ball's doing all sorts of crazy stuff. He didn't let it get over his head, kept it in front of him, and it hit him in the chest and nicely rolled out of bounds. So good job there by Morgani.
So now 2 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the first half. The Red Tornadoes trail 18-7. They have the football with 83 yards between themselves and the end zone. And they'll start wide. Adams and Delaney to the left, Belichick to the right.
Also, all 3 of their timeouts in Coach Dara's pocket. So they want to put together a drive here. This is the time to get the offense going.
And Blessing's back, and they hand him the football. He'll get out across the 20. It'll be second and 8.
Yeah, not much there for Blessing up the middle.
Again, you got to think the Red Tornadoes here, they're content with taking a lot of time off this clock, too. They love to score.
Yeah.
But knowing they get the football to start the second half, they'd be content with killing the clock as well. Marshalik's going to throw his screen set up, and Blessing is flung to the ground by Quinn Michaels, who read it the whole time. It's almost like he ran the route for Blessing.
I mean, that's a great job by Blessing just to reel that football in. It looked like he caught it up on his shoulder and secured it.
And now, like we were just talking about, the Red Tornadoes content to run the clock out. Coach Wicks and the Green Dragons say, not so fast.
Well, and at this point, obviously you want the first down if you're the Red Tornadoes. But now you're going for the first down. I don't think you're going to run this and hopefully you get the first down. I think now you're going to be looking for Belichick or maybe Delaney on a rocket screen. You're going to be looking to go after it now.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot in these third down plays. Belichick on a stick route is always a good bet.
Yeah, I mean, the senior, he knows where the sticks are at. He knows where he has to get to, and he does a good job of blocking out his defender in that situation. And
with having Belichick on the short side of the field, right, it cuts down on the distance the ball's got to travel from Marshalik.
Yeah.
You can pull a little zip on it, but we'll see if the Red Tornadoes think the same way we do. 3rd and 9. Marshalik to throw. And he's looking. Now he's going to go down. He's going to be sacked for a loss. He was trying to get out to that right side where Belichick was, but a big play made by the Green Dragon defense.
And Coach Wicks is going to use their last timeout of the game as well, or of the half, to stop the clock again at 1:44 here. And now, Jim, you got to think, if you're Lewisburg, do you go after this punt from Karicki?
So I don't.
No?
And the reason I don't is because I got number 3 back there. Where'd he go? I got Jeremiah Davis back there returning kicks.
Yeah. See, it looks, it's 3. He's out there. The 3 looks like a 5 on the front of his jersey, but I saw 5 walk out there with him.
Yeah, they're both out there. That's what it is. It's Davis and Coleman.
That's the only reason I was able to decipher that was the 3 and not the 5.
And that's the only reason I'm not going after the punt. Plus, I think in this case, the risk is not necessarily worth the reward, because in the event you run into Karicki, you
15-yard penalty would be. It's 4th and they got it marked as 4th and 16, but that looks about 15 to me. So that'd be a first down. And
Karicki's punt is going to be taken on a hop by Davis. And Davis is going to get a good couple yards there, good coverage by the Red Tornadoes, but he'll get inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line. We'll have about a minute 34 here for Wenrick to work.
Yeah, so with that, those couple bounces and the roll and then the return, it actually takes 10 seconds off the clock there for the Green Dragons. And again, now it's going to be hard to throw the ball deep. They're going to have to throw it underneath, and they're going to have to try to throw it to the sidelines because now no timeouts remaining. If they really want to get points here before the half, they're going to have to find a way to do it without stopping the clock.
It's the I formation again. Walker, the single receiver. Looks like Downs and Felon in motion. They'll reset to the right. It's a power sweep to Davis. And Davis is going to be tripped up by Miller, who does a great job of hanging on.
Yeah, that's a tremendous job there by Miller. He didn't get much at Davis, but he got enough of him. He was able to wrap him up around the ankle and pull him down there. Just hung on.
How strong are Ben Miller's hands?
They have to be unbelievably strong because Davis runs hard.
And it's chilly.
Yeah.
It's getting cool out here.
Yeah, you're starting to lose feeling. That's more like a club you're swinging at his legs.
Wenrick, a quick pass to Walker, and Walker does a great job of hanging on to that football. The Red Tornadoes want to say they have it. The officials don't agree.
Nah. Dual possession, I guess.
Well, that was a great job over there by Delaney of breaking on the ball.
Yeah.
As Wenrick's pass kind of brought Walker a little further line of scrimmage than maybe he wanted to.
Yeah.
But now it's 3rd and 6, and we got 40 seconds left in the half. And it's Davis. And Davis will be short of the first down, it looks like, which will keep the clock moving. And so now they got to make a decision here.
Yeah, I think Coach Dara is going to let this run.
Yeah,
let this run.
I totally agree with Coach Dara's decision.
Yeah, no timeout, but they're going to try and go quick here. And he lost the ball.
They lost the football, so now the Red Tornadoes are going to get the football with about 14 seconds left. All 3 timeouts.
And we'll see if they go to the clock operator again to put an additional second on the clock here, because that whistle blew at about 15 seconds.
Put your hands together as their defense.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any adjustments here. So now, Dan, and you said this to me before the game. You're at a point now, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
Right? And so anything that you might have had, any plays you have in your bag of tricks that you've been waiting, I mean, now's as good a time as any.
Yeah, you got to empty the cupboard here.
So it's 3 wide, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Marshal's going to throw, and he's got Bailey across the middle. Bailey's just going to find contact. He's going to run into Downs. It'll stop the clock at the... Now they will have to reset the clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to fix that.
A lot of time ran off there. It's at 4 seconds right now. We'll see what they bump it back up to.
It's good. I think it's good. They're going to have to put it somewhere around 8.
You can see the officials are certainly trying to. So they're going to get 9.
Okay.
So good eyes, Dan.
And I mean, 9 seconds, Jim. Still got 2 more timeouts. You got enough to get across the 50. Just try to get it as close as you can to Marshalik's range to the end zone.
Yep. Haven't seen a good hook and ladder in a while,
Jim, it's funny that you say that because that was the first thing that popped in my head. I actually saw one in college football over the weekend. They did it to a tackle. They did it to their left tackle. They had him run out there, and it wasn't even a pitch. It was more like a handoff to the left tackle, and he got in the end zone. It was a short yardage thing, but it worked out well. And I saw it, and that was the first thing that popped in my head. Because, I mean, really, it'd be perfect here.
Yeah, it's Adams to Delaney.
What I'm thinking you get Belichick to Blessing.
Okay, you're going the other way. I got you.
You got the wide side of the field there, and you got the back coming out of the backfield. Gives it a little more time for it to develop. But if you're going to do that, that has to be like this is going to be your last play.
Yeah. Well, the other thing we haven't seen in a while, Dan, and when I say while, I mean weeks.
Right.
Is the post for Delaney out of the slot.
Yeah, you're right.
Where he splits the 2 safeties
right down
and just takes off. Now again, the Red Tornadoes, they do all the work they need to do beforehand, their early time everything. I'm sure they have a feel for what kind of ball Marshall can get in the air against the wind.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is it's against the wind. And as they finally get 9 seconds back on the clock, again, that other that sarcastic cheer makes me laugh every time. So here we go. Ball's on the 43-yard line, 9 seconds left. It's 2nd and 2, but that doesn't much matter. Marshall's going to go, and it's intercepted by Quinn Michaels. Intercepted by Quinn Michaels. And so now there's 3.6, so we'll just say 3 seconds on the clock here. And now we might see how far Wenrick can throw it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, again, we talked about it. That ball has kind of been hanging up in the air. Yep. But, I mean, we'll see. And the Red Tornadoes, yeah, you have to be aware of the deep pass. But you also, if you put too many guys back deep, you got to be aware of the draw.
Yeah.
The draw to Davis, because Davis gets in the open field. He's going to be hard to bring down with a head of steam. If you're, he's got 20, 25 yards of head start.
Well, as is often said, right, all the prevent defense does is prevent you from winning.
Yeah.
So the Red Tornadoes will just have a kind of a modified version of the standard defense they run.
It's like a cover 4, essentially.
And the Green Dragons are going to give it to Davis, and Davis has Chase Belichick to avoid his blockers and do just enough to slow Davis down until the rest of the white jerseys came. And in a very, very exciting fashion, that is how the first half will end. After 24 minutes of play, the Green Dragons lead the Red Tornadoes 18-7 here in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup sponsored by Hollywood Pizza. We'll be back in just a few minutes with stats, scores from around the area, and most importantly, the second half, so stay tuned.
Rossi, assistant drum instructor. John Jacoby, assistant to the band director. Jennifer Melnick, color guard instructor. Linda Haas, assistant color guard instructor. Bernie Seller, Kelly Lucas, Erica Nestico, and Cameron Getty, music and marching instructors. We would like to thank Brett Getty, Matt Seller, the MCA School Board and Administration, and especially the MCA band parents for their continued invaluable support. The band would like to recognize the late Paul Protsonichek, legendary MCA now instructor, who wrote the brass and woodwind arrangements for portions of our show. And now, we would like to invite you to sit back and enjoy the 2024 edition of the Mount Carmel Area High School Big Red Band.
I'm here with Chase Polichik. Chase, what's your number and position?
Number 1, I play wide receiver and safety.
Alrighty, we're going to get to know you. What's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite, probably college football.
College football?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Who's your favorite teacher in the school?
Mr. Yarch.
Mr. Yarch?
Yeah.
Great
He's
guy.
He's a great guy.
Great guy. Would you rather go camping or go to the beach?
I'd rather go to the beach.
The beach?
Yeah.
You like to get tan?
Yeah.
Go in the water?
Go in the water, yeah.
Great time there.
Great time.
If you could switch lives with any of your teammates for a day, who would it be?
I have no idea.
No idea?
Ow.
Why Al?
I have no idea. He just told me to say him.
Just crazy guy?
Crazy guy.
Alrighty. And then, what's your dream vacation?
Probably Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I would love to go there.
Yeah.
Great place. Thank you, Chase.
Yep.
All right, I'm here with Jalen. Jalen, what's your number and position?
Number 6, and I play receiver and cornerback.
All right, we're going to get to know you. So, what artist are you dying to see in concert?
Probably Drake.
Drake, why's that?
I don't know. He's just a good artist.
Seems like a hype concert to go to. All righty. What's your Dunkin' order?
Strawberry dragon fruit, lemonade refresher, and a chocolate frosted donut with sprinkles.
Okay, that's a good order. Very good order. What movie could you watch every day?
Draft day.
Draft Day?
Yeah.
All right. That's a good movie. What's your favorite sport to watch?
Ooh. I'd say probably football, but baseball is a close second.
All right. And what is your favorite Disney character?
I don't really watch Disney movies, so if I had to pick,
Hello and welcome back to Alumni Stadium here in Milton, where after 2 quarters of play, the Lewisburg Green Dragons lead the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes 18-7 in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup. Now, as always, I think we have some stats courtesy of Jose Gonzalo. Dan, I don't know if you want to
Yeah, let me
kind of walk us through those.
trying to get the feeling back in my hands here.
Well, from a score standpoint, I can tell you the Lewisburg Green Dragons jumped out to an 18-0 lead on 3 rushing touchdowns by everything running back Jeremiah Davis. The Red Tornadoes cut into that lead due to Matt Belichick picking up a blocked punt and running in for a touchdown. But Dan, that's kind of the score. Give us some context around there from a statistical standpoint.
Yeah, well, the numbers are pretty indicative of what's been going on in the scoring perspective there. The Lewisburg Green Dragons, 29 rushing attempts, 167 yards on the ground, 5 of 7 passing for 91 yards, 9 first downs, and again, that 18 points on those 3 rushing touchdowns by Davis. Now, for the Red Tornadoes, 16 rushing attempts, 44 yards on the ground, 2 of 6 passing for 8 yards, 3 first downs, and that lone 7 points up there on the board coming by way of the blocked punt return for a touchdown. So the Red Tornadoes going to be looking here. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, and they're going to be looking to their offense to just find their way a little bit, find some rhythm. Even if you don't score on this initial drive, you want to put a drive together.
Well, Dan, I think it's worth mentioning here. We talked about it a little bit last week, well, you and I did at least, and the Red Tornadoes came out and they looked really strong offensively, and you put up 55 points, and that quiets a lot of noise around the offense.
Yeah.
For the first 6 weeks of the season, as far as throwing the football goes, the Red Tornadoes were averaging about 8.6 yards per attempt for the first 6 weeks of the season. And remember, you think about it, we had the streak of 6 straight games with Marshalluk 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Delaney had 17 targets and 14 catches in week 2, right?
Yep.
You had all this kind of stuff going on. Well, over the last 4 weeks of the season, that yards per attempt dropped 2 yards to about 6.5.
Yeah.
And that was including a 5 for 9 for I think 180-yard output in week 8 against Central Mountain.
Yep.
And if you took that game out of the equation, it was like 4.5 yards per attempt versus, so that would have been the Danville game, the Shamokin game, and the Milton game.
Yes.
And so you just, as you look at the Red Tornado offense and you see it kind of settle back into shotgun double wing, you can't help but wonder, what kind of the handcuffs for Marshalluk and company seem to be seem to be there, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, tonight is a little bit of a different situation. You got to think that the weather's playing a factor into that. But you're right. The last few weeks, it seemed like that the Red Tornadoes have been content to run the ball and not really let Marshalik throw the ball downfield. We haven't seen Delaney down the seam a whole lot. We haven't seen a lot of deep balls thrown in general. And now, you know, the Red Tornadoes down 2 scores here to start the second half, playing for their lives here. You're gonna see if they decide that they're gonna open things up a little bit. Again, it's gonna be hard to push the ball down the field with the wind that we're dealing with out here tonight. But you got to see some sort of capability of throwing the ball down the field. Open things up for the run game a little bit.
Again, we want to thank tonight's sponsors. The first half was Hollywood Pizza. Now for the second half, we have Century Services and Support. So we talk about it all the time. This broadcast isn't possible without the support of our sponsors. And so we thank them and all of you for spending your Friday nights with us throughout the season. Sometimes it's Saturday, at least once. But all you do to support the WKMC TV station here, the student-run TV studio out of the Mount Carmel Area School District. So here we go. Cohen Hoover is going to drill it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So the Red Tornadoes will start on their own 20. And as Dan pointed out, they need to get something started.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to score on this drive. You really don't. You got 24 minutes to play. Your defense was starting to somewhat find its stride there late in the second quarter. You got the stop, you got the block punt, you got another stop. But you can't keep throwing it back at your defense without putting points on the board. The offense has got to pull their weight here in the second half.
So the Red Tornadoes come out in the shotgun double wing. It'll be Bailey right up the middle for 2.
And again, you know, 24 minutes here. You got the entirety of the second half. You're only down 11. I mean, that's a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then a choppy kick. But kicking is going to be difficult all night. But you have plenty of time to close this deficit, close the gap. Just got to find a way to do it.
2nd and 8.
It's Belichick.
And the handoff is to Delaney, who will get to the 26. And you're right, Dan, it's Belichick taking the snap.
And you wonder if that's by design with this. If they're going tight, they're going to go shotgun double wing. Belichick, a little bit more of a running threat than Marshalik. And we might see it right here. Maybe the little fake pitch, Belichick keeper up the middle.
Yeah, I suppose we'll see. It's 3rd and 4, and that's what you're going to get. And Belichick's going to should have the first down. It looks like they're going to have him just north of the 30.
He does have the first down, and not without the effort there from Belichick. He would not have had it. He got stopped about a yard short, put his shoulder down, and fought for an extra yard and a half to get that first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 31. Again, Belichick will stay in at quarterback. A little trouble with the snap. He does a good job of getting it to Blessing, and now Blessing's got some space. Blessing's still on his feet. Blessing will not go down. He'll step out of bounds.
And that's what Blessing's been looking for all night. He got that. You get the shotgun double wing here. You've compressed that Lewisburg defense. Everybody's inside. Everybody's tight. And they see Blessing kind of break out to the outside there. And now they send their corners a little bit away, so that might open things up on the inside.
Ball at the 49-yard line. Delaney comes in motion, but it'll be Blessing. Again, Blessing across the 45. We'll mark him down at the 44. It'll be 2nd and 3. And right back on the ball are the Red Tornadoes.
And the Red Tornadoes now three yards away from matching their first half total for first downs here on this first drive.
And the snap to Bailey is low. He does a good job of picking it up off the turf, and he's going to have a first down.
It's a great fight.
Down to the 37.
And Jim, I don't know if you've been listening to the PA announcer. I heard that one. I think he said, bad snap. Bailey says no problem and fights forward for the first down.
I think on one of the other snaps where the Red Tornadoes lost a lot of yards, I think he said whoopsie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been pretty good.
He is good.
Ball at the 36. Well, they'll mark it now. Delaney's in motion, but Blitchik will keep it himself, and he's going to run right behind.
And the ball's
out. Now there's flags coming in from all over the place. The Green Dragons have the football.
We'll see. Was that supposed to be a yellow flag, though?
That's a good question.
I'm wondering if that's not supposed to be a yellow flag. That's supposed to be that the ball was out. That's supposed to be a white flag, possibly. But we'll get the call.
And the Red Tornadoes have been, if this fumble does stand, the Red Tornadoes have been their own worst enemy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a defensive penalty is going to be the only way the Red Tornadoes keep possession of the ball.
Personal foul, face mask, and that's what it is. So the Red Tornadoes are going to catch a break in a moment that they really needed one.
Yeah, because that's in commission of the play there, so that's not that's a personal foul, but it's not a dead ball foul. So wow, Red Tornadoes do catch a break, and that's one thing that you haven't seen happen for the Red Tornadoes much throughout this year is they get that break that kind of helps save them from themselves a little bit.
And that was a big break. That's going to move the football all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Must have happened. Yeah, it had to have happened right at the 30.
So now the Red Tornadoes look to the sideline for the play. It's a low snap. Blitchik does a good job to hang on to it, and he'll power forward down to it's like the 11. And Dan, I got to ask you something here because I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Did I imagine the play clocks in the first half?
No, you did not imagine them, but they are off.
I don't even know where they are. I don't even see like the blank boxes.
One of them's just above the window, right in between the uprights here.
There it is. Thank you.
But I don't. The one on this side here has disappeared completely.
Now it's Blessing fighting down to about the 7. Gonna bring up 3rd and maybe 2.
And again, now the Red Tornadoes knocking on the door. The biggest thing that they have to do right now is, again, we've talked about it, not be your worst enemy. Cover the football, play smart. You see the Green Dragons moving around there, the linebacker spot. You can't give up free yards here, so we can't take a penalty.
Delaney in motion, it's Blessing. It's a first down. And he's still on his feet. The ball is out, and it looks like Shiganowski falls on it at the goal line.
Yeah, right at the goal line.
Oh, my goodness. Almost a disaster for the Red Tornadoes, but a great job by Shiganowski.
And I mean,
no,
wow.
No, the Green Dragons have the football. My goodness, I thought Shiganowski was on that from the beginning.
It looked very clear that they had gotten on that football, but that Shiganowski had gotten on that football. But what a change here for the Green Dragons. I mean, this is just a disaster for the Red Tornadoes. But now, I mean, for the Red Tornadoes, you got to be thinking we got to bring some pressure. And you know that the Dragons, they're going to lean on their guy. They're going to lean on Mr. Davis to try and get him out of this predicament, backed up deep in their own territory. They go to the power I.
See how the defense responds here. Wenrick's going to take a snap.
Oh, wow.
And look at this push. What a push by the Green Dragon offensive line. It's going to be a gain of about 6 from the 1 to the 7 and give the offense a little breathing room.
Yeah, and you see the Red Tornadoes try to kind of go up over the top there, but the Green Dragons welcomed that as they just stayed low and rooted them out.
Yeah, the challenge there is when you leave your feet, you don't really have any base anymore.
Right.
To fight back against that push, and just a great job by the Green Dragons. Still the same look. This time it's going to be Michaels off the right side, and he's going to get across the 10.
He's going to have a first
down. Out to about
down.
the 13 for a first down.
And I mean, Jim, that's tough. This is a tough change here for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, they've put together the best drive that they've had of the entire night offensively, and he got bailed out once with a penalty, and then they give the ball up on the goal line.
This time it's Davis. Weasels his way up to the 15, maybe the 16. Be 2nd and 7 after a gain of 3. And now you see some personnel changes here as the Green Dragons think, okay, we're in a position, maybe we can spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, they get out of trouble there. They're going to go to their open set a little bit here.
Walker, Coleman, and Kitchens. And Coleman, it's good to see Coleman out there. He was helped off the field, or excuse me, Kitchens.
Yeah.
He was helped off the field towards the end of the first half. But it's going to be Davis on the handoff, and it's a first down, and it's going to be added to it. It looks like the Red Tornadoes grabbed a face mask as he went by.
Yeah.
We're going to add a little bit to this. Again, he had picked up the first down, but the officials asking everything to kind of stop while they sort out the penalty.
I think this is going to be a 5-yard variety.
Yep, no personal foul indicator there. Like I said, that was really just almost a helmet touch as he went by.
Yeah.
Wasn't much more than that.
Yeah, but as the Green Dragons, they get the first down, and they're going to go back tight.
Yep, Downs and Field back in. Kitchens and Coleman come out.
Seems like they really only go to that wide open set. Now they did throw it a little bit there in the first half, but they go to that open set to kind of just give Davis a little bit more room, a little bit of more of an opening.
And now it's a toss to Davis, and he gets a great block from Quinn Michaels, and now Davis has speed, and he's still on his feet. Max Pericki is going to knock him out of bounds. Usually when Max Pericki makes a tackle, it's good news for the defense, but in that case, he made it 20 yards downfield.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great run there by Davis. Just a tremendous run. We got a Red Tornado down.
Again, good hustle by Pericki.
That's Kimsel. It's going to be down on that one.
So while we have a minute here, again, depending on how tonight ends up, if the Red Tornado season continues, so will Supper Club. Thursday nights at Matucci's. It starts officially at 6:30. Doors open at 5:45, but you want to get there earlier. You have a good opportunity there to hear from members of the coaching staff, players, cheerleaders, band members, and TV studio students. It's always good conversation. I believe you can also buy raffle tickets. I think I forgot to mention that in the first half.
Yeah.
You can also buy the raffle tickets for the signed game-worn jersey, game-worn Travis Kelce jersey, provided by our good friend Brett Veach. So there's no reason not to be at Supper Club on a Thursday night.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it. Last week's guest speaker was Frank Dabby-Niglio, and we just got a little information here that Quinn Michaels, the Lewisburg Green Dragons leading tackler, is actually the grandson of Dabby-Niglio. So there's a little connection there for both sides here. As Kimsel is helped off the field. And we're set up here. We've got another first and 10 for the Green Dragons. And they've looked, their offense has looked as it has in the first half. You know, just moving the ball, slow and steady, but they're getting it done.
We're more than halfway through the third quarter, 5:47 left, 18-7 Green Dragons. It's Quinn Michael off the left side, and he's going to get down to the 42, pickup of about 6. And again, we also want to make sure we're thanking our sponsor for the second half tonight, Century Support and Service. Century Services and Support, excuse me. Right back on the line are the Green Dragons, giving the Red Tornadoes a taste of their own medicine a little bit here. And it's Quinn Michaels again off the left side. And he's going to have a first down and a little bit more as he puts the head down to finish the run. And the Green Dragons, Dan, are really starting to impose their will on this drive.
Yeah.
A drive that you remember started at the 1-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this has been such a good drive here for the Green Dragons. They've found ways to get themselves out of trouble, backed up deep. Now they're threatening the red zone here for the Red Tornadoes, and the Red Tornado defense doesn't seem to have an answer.
1st and 10, ball at the 34. Low snap. Wenrick scoops it up, and he's going to look for Walker. Can Delaney make a play? He does. Delaney took the football away.
Wow.
When the Red Tornadoes needed a play, Delaney comes up and makes one.
And Jim, again, the self-inflicted wounds. You know, you got to think that Coach Wicks is just trying to change things up a little bit. Put the ball in the air, give his receivers an opportunity. They've been moving the ball at will, running the ball down the field. And they throw it up there, and Delaney this time had a train on it the whole way. He followed that ball, turned into the receiver, and took it for the Red Tornadoes. Now going to start their second drive of the second half here, but they looked good on the first one, Jim. They just got to cover that football up.
Long road in front of them, but a road full of opportunities here as Blessing goes in motion. Belichick fakes the sweep, and he keeps it himself. Get across the 10 to the 12, make it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and again, you know, I don't think this is anything, you know, I don't think Marshalik did anything to really lose the job there. I just think with the shotgun double wing, Belichick's more of a rushing threat. He's the guy to have in there.
That's to Bailey, and Bailey does a good job of hurdling over that initial line of defenders and will have a first down to the 16.
Bailey on the carry. Bangs forward for a first down.
Been trying to get a look at who's in there on the line for the Red Tornadoes. Again, it's like Shimko. Shimko's at that right tackle.
Is that?
Trying to see who's
I
right
can't
next
tell
to
if it's Spears or Dempko, because Bumps is over the center. Bumps is at center.
I think Spears is the left guard.
Yeah.
Delaney's the left tackle. As Delaney, Jalen that is, gets dropped for a loss there.
Wow. That was Michaels again.
It's Shiganowski in the right guard, and
Okay.
Spears is the left guard.
Loss on the play. 2nd and 11.
Yeah, now we'll see. 2nd and long here. The Red Tornadoes trying to stay ahead of the sticks here. Curious to see if the Red Tornadoes are going to have any wrinkle, if they're going to let Belichick throw this. We know he's capable of it.
Toss to Blessing, excuse me. He's going to get upended by Quinn Michaels, man. That looked like there was an opportunity there. I think that was Bailey out in front. And Michaels cut underneath and made a nice play.
Yeah, Michaels does a really good job. I mean, he makes tackles in the tackle box, but he also just moves really well laterally.
3rd and 6. It's Blessing. And it's the Green Dragon defense. Again, and Dan, I think, you know, we've seen it. We know Belichick can throw it. I think about even what he did as a sophomore a few years back.
And
but I don't know that the Green Dragons are going to respect that until the Red Tornadoes let him do it.
Right. And, I mean, if the Red Tornadoes were thinking about throwing it here on 4th down, that's going to be a big hit there. That's number 6, Jalen Delaney, down for the Red Tornadoes.
But Jim, take this up.
Sorry, you have to think that 3rd down run into the line there, they're gonna go for it here. You have to believe that. And you got 15 minutes left in this game. You're down 11.
So as we said before, you know, there's a good number of games going on in the area tonight. I think as the season kind of whittles down, you run out of those Saturday games, right? Everybody's back on Friday nights as Delaney's up and off the field. So in the 3rd quarter, Danville leads Montoursville 14-10. Remember, the winner of this game will play the winner of that game.
Yes.
And if Danville's victorious, either one of these teams are going to Danville.
Yes.
And if Montoursville's victorious, they're coming to either one of these teams.
Yeah.
That's the way the seeding works there. Troy leads the Southern Columbia Tigers 40-20 in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
But right now, we got 4th and 3 here, and the Red Tornadoes need to make a play.
Wildcat.
It's Blessing in the Wildcat. He takes the snap, and he's got nowhere to go. He's stopped well short of the first down. There's not a whole lot of wrinkles there when Blessing's in the Wildcat. He's going to take the snap and come forward.
Yeah.
And the Green Dragons were ready for it, and now they take the ball over deep in Red Tornado territory at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and I mean, Jim, you realize the importance of that down there. I mean, that if you're the Red Tornadoes, you have to go for it there. That's I kind of tried to set it up a little bit. You're down 11. You got 15 minutes left, and the Dragons, they run a ball control offense. They have controlled the clock. They've won the time of possession, but you have to get that first down. And now the Green Dragons in great position to extend their lead.
And Davis inside the 10. Nice run by Davis again, and you said it, Dan. I think what's interesting is we talked a little bit about that Lewisburg offensive line. Maybe they're not the biggest kids in the world.
No, yeah.
But I think what it is when you play assignment football and you put a hat on a hat,
yep.
and then Davis is coming through that hole after two different guys.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Field and then Michael. There's not a lot of guys left that are going to be able to stop Davis before he gets up to speed.
Right.
And so there it is again, and a good job there by Delaney, Jagger Delaney that is, of making sure that he just got off his block and was kind of lying in wait.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think about here. I see number 10 down there on the sideline. Hoover just slowly warming his leg up here. But the upside for the Red Tornadoes, if you get a stop and Hoover kicks and makes a field goal, it's still only a two-possession game. So that it would be huge here to get a stop.
Second and goal from the 9. It's Michaels. Right up the middle, he puts his head down and gets a good surge inside the 5. Looks like they're going to say the 4 he gets to. So it'll be third and goal from there. Talked about Montoursville and Southern. Right now, Jersey Shore leads Shamokin 14-7 in the third.
All right.
Fortunately, our friends in North Schuylkill trailed Northwestern Lehigh 36-0.
Oof.
Still a nice season from the Spartans.
Yeah.
And it's Michaels, and he's going to be stopped short. The ball's is out. The Red Tornadoes think they have it, and they do.
Wow. And you know, Jim, you have to think at this point, the Red Tornadoes have, I think that's now their third turnover that they've been on the receiving end of in this game. 2 fumbles and an interception. And the only points on the board are from the punt return team. You know, they have to, their defense continues to step up for them and continues to make big plays when they need to. The offense has got to reciprocate here.
Trying to see in the Red Tornado backfield, who's the quarterback?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's just a
jump. Okay, I couldn't see him for a second.
Yeah. You see Cooper Karicki in there this time around.
You know, this is a tough spot for that offense, and they're going to try to get a head start. Now, for whatever it's worth, it can't cost you a whole lot more.
No.
But the dangerous point here, Dan, is there are numerous infractions that if they occur within the end zone, it is a safety. That'll cost them, you know, the width of the football maybe.
Right.
Because it can't get much closer to the goal line than it is. But a hold here, for instance, have catastrophic consequences.
Yeah, I think the only way that they're going to get that ball closer to the goal line is if they turn it sideways, watermelon style.
So again, the Red Tornadoes are going to start this drive about as far away from the end zone as you could feasibly be. And it's Belichick, stays upright and gets out across the 3 to the 4. It's a good effort there by Matt to get out of the end zone.
Snap was a little high. Did a good job of handling it, reeling it in, and getting what he could. But now the Red Tornado, the biggest thing for the Red Tornadoes right now is just get out of trouble.
25 seconds left in the third quarter. The Red Tornadoes have to snap it at least one more time.
Yeah.
And now it's going to cost them here, I think. They just got it off in time, and Matt's going to throw it, and he's going up top. looking for Delaney, but that's such a difficult play for Matt to make the throw and for Delaney to make the catch into the wind, as you saw the ball kind of trailing towards the sideline.
Yeah, it did. The wind really pushed that ball out of bounds. But now you see here, the Red Tornadoes, Karicki to the sideline, Bolichick as well to the sideline, along with Al Bailey. They're going to go with their speed package, and you're going to have Marshalik back in here to take the snap. And, I mean, you have to think they're going to be putting the ball in the air.
And we've seen it hasn't always been great for Marshalik. When he has to throw in obvious passing downs, the defense tends to come after him. But does a good job, and it's incomplete. And it's a lot to ask for Marshalik to come in cold and kind of light a spark. So now the clock will stop with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. And Karicki's going to punt from his own end zone.
Yeah.
And now, as we said before, Dan, where we were talking about at the end of the first half, hey, maybe there's not a lot of risk-reward here to go after this punt. Here is a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
If I'm the Green Dragons, I'm going after this every day of the week.
Absolutely. I mean, plus you got to have faith in your defense, too.
There it is. And it's a touchdown. A great play by the Dragons, and it's 24-7, and that's how the third quarter ends. My goodness.
Wow, Jim. And I mean, the Green Dragons, their offense should be taking their defense out to lunch next week, because their defense has done everything here in this game so far in these 3 quarters. They haven't given up a point to the Red Tornadoes offense. They've done nothing but force turnovers, and now they've got another 6 points on the board for the defense.
Cohen Hoover on to attempt the PAT. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. And again, as we said before, if there was one blemish tonight for the Lewisburg Green Dragons, it might have been the PATs.
Yeah.
But they've resolved that problem as well. And as the third quarter now officially comes to a close, they lead the Red Tornadoes 25-7.
Yeah, I mean, just what a half for the Green Dragons. I mean, the Red Tornadoes come out hot. They put together a tremendous drive it all the way down to the 1 yard line, and turn it over. The Green Dragons get out of trouble, and then they turn it over. And the defense gets another stop, and gets another stop, and then gets a block punt for a touchdown.
It's been an interesting 36 minutes of play for sure. But nevertheless, the Green Dragons 12 minutes away from
what's Danville just extended their lead to 11. They're now up 21-10 on Montoursville, so they may be 12 minutes away from a trip to Danville. Troy has extended their lead 46-20 now over the Southern Columbia Tigers. Jersey Shore and Shamokin still 14-7 in the third quarter, and Northwestern Lehigh still 36-0 over North School. That game's now in the fourth quarter.
Again, here we are to start the fourth. Cohen Hoover will kick to Karicki and Kimsel. Want to thank tonight's second half sponsor, Century Services and Support, for their sponsorship of this WKMC TV broadcast. And the Green Dragons attempt an onside kick and recover it.
Yeah, they've got the football, Jim. And just, for the Red Tornadoes, just when you think that things can't get much worse, you think you're going to at least get the ball to start the fourth quarter, put something together here, and the Green Dragons come out. And I don't know if it's intentional exactly, but it seemed like Hoover was trying to keep that ball on the ground, keep it low, and he just hits one of the up men for the Red Tornadoes, and that ball bounces back 2 yards into the waiting arms of a Green Dragon player, kickoff specialist.
And now the Red Tornadoes are forced to yet again rely on their defense. It's a handoff to the up man. That's Sean Field. A nice job there by Ben Miller. on the stop after a gain of a yard.
Yeah, and you see the Green Dragon sideline. You see even the huddle. They're loose. They're having fun out there. They're playing ball. I just saw Wenrick. He went and helped Fields up, and then kind of skipped his way over to the sideline to get the call from Coach Wicks, who should also be a pretty happy man over on that sideline.
Sweep to Jeremiah Davis. First down.
And he does such a great job. He gets his hand on the back of a blocker and just follows him through there. Kind of puts his head down and just says, blocker, take the wheel, and follows him for a first down.
Downs heads in. Downs and Quinn Michaels. Kitchens. When Davis comes to the sideline, Davis gets a much earned breather here. And I believe coming into tonight, the only guy that had more rushing touchdowns in the area than Jeremiah Davis was Bo Sheptok.
Wow.
This time it's Quinn Michaels off the left side. A stiff arm, still on his feet, down to the 26. It'll be another first down for the Green Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of green there from Michaels. He takes that handoff, and there's no white jerseys around him for the first probably 8 yards. And again, the Green Dragons, they're going to huddle. They're going to take their time. They know that they've got this one pretty well in hand, so there's no rush, no sense of urgency. Now, on the other side of the ball here, the Red Tornadoes need to be ripping at that football.
Michaels again. Inside the 20. Looks like they'll say at the 20, but still, that's going to be a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Davis back in. Now it's Michaels starting to take a breather.
Yeah. Again, well deserved.
That's Field split to the right. Walker to the left. Davis sidecar with Wenrick. Wenrick's going to throw. He's looking for Walker. He's going up top. And it's almost intercepted. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, near the line of scrimmage.
Wenrick looks to a double cover Walker. Flag on the play.
We'll wait for the call here. I'm going to see exactly what it's going to be. So personal foul. Hands to the face against the Red Tornadoes.
So another.
Now, I will be honest with you though, Dan. I don't know that I realized hands to the face was a personal foul.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they're certainly walking it off as if it's a half of the distance to the goal penalty.
Yeah, I mean, again, another self-inflicted wound there for the Red Tornadoes. And just as we're talking here, Jim, I just got an update that Shamokin and Jersey Shore game is now knotted up at 14 as the third quarter is about to end.
So it's 1st and goal from the 10. Davis off the right side, and Davis has his 4th rushing touchdown of the night.
Wow.
And it's 31-7 with 9 minutes and 20 seconds left here at Alumni Field in Milton.
And it's at a certain point, Jim, you know, your defense can only do so much. The Red Tornadoes defense has been called on all night by the offense. The offense has been pretty well slowed down almost to a halt here in this game. And the defense, they held as long as they could. But that tough run game wears you down.
Cullen Hoover's kick is good, and it's 32-7. So we'll see what the Red Tornadoes opt to do here. If they go back to Marshalik, who again, the one thing that I think is worth mentioning here, Dan, as we go through this. Excited to see what the Red Tornadoes do here from under center. Marshall is starting quarterback all 12 weeks of this season.
Yeah.
You have to assume he's the incumbent coming in next season too, as he's just a junior.
For sure.
So how do you want, if the Red Tornado season does end here tonight, and again they're down 25 points with 9 minutes left, so it's certainly not a possibility.
Right.
Do you want your signal caller, the guy you're going to look to next season, standing on the sideline to finish this one out? I think the answer is no, but
I think so too.
We're up here and not on the sidelines.
Yeah, and you saw it there. Coach Wicks just used the timeout and brought his whole team together and huddled up, and it seemed like the Green Dragons came out of that huddle very, very happy, cheery. I'm not sure if that was because he's going to be making some substitutions, telling his older guys to take a breather. Great game, whatever it is, but we'll see how they proceed from here.
Good job by Lukuski. Scoops up the pooch kick on a hop. He's going to get a return up too. We'll see where they say he stepped out of bounds. It's going to be on the Red Tornado side of the 50. It's like, wait, still.
No.
Got officials in all kinds of different places.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be, or it is going to be on the Red Tornado side of the 50. Sorry.
They're going to say the 45. Okay. My goodness, they were switching the balls out too, so there were like 3 balls out there, a couple officials.
Right.
And it is Marshall back out there. I'm going to hand off to Blessing. Blessing's going to get upended, but not before he picks up a first down. And Luke's going to pop up and try to, looks like, make his way to the sideline.
Yeah.
We want to talk about leaving it all on the field. Nobody does it quite like 2-4.
No. And this is going to be, a tough ending to what was a tough year with the injuries and stuff for Blessing. And All-Stater last year, had a tremendous, over 1,200 yards rushing last season. So I like what Coach Dara is doing here. Give him his carries, give him his opportunities. Let's try and get him in the end zone to put a stamp on what has been a tremendous career.
Down to the 36, 2nd and 3. And it'll be Blessing one more time. And you can't go to the well that many times in a row. Quinn Michaels is going to stop that from you. And Blessing is now going to head to the sideline.
Yeah, and the Red Tornadoes, I mean, it's been a problem for them all year, dealing with an edge rusher. And it happens here again. Michaels comes untouched off the left side, as he's going to do again here.
Yep, here they come again. And as we've said, Marshall has often been put in impossible situations where he has to throw when everybody in the stadium knows he's going to throw it.
Yeah, and in that situation, he has to throw immediately. He takes the snap and has to get that ball out of his hands, or he's going to get his head taken off there by the unblocked edge rusher. Especially in a situation like this where the Green Dragons, if they give up a deep play, they give up something over their head, there's no trouble there.
We'll see what Quinn Michaels does here. This time he's going to drop into coverage, so Marshall will have a second. And Marshall shows you why he's been so effective this season, but that's going to be short of the first down, I fear.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate there for Lukuski. He's just trying to make a play, but I think he caught that beyond the sticks, but as he's trying to get upfield, he comes backwards and then gets tackled and it turns into a turnover on downs.
So 7:42 left here in this District 4 Class 3A semifinal matchup the second-seeded Lewisburg Green Dragons, 9-1 coming into tonight, lead the visiting 3-seed Red Tornadoes 32-7.
So, Jim, we talked about it before. They're headed headlong to a 10-1 versus 11-0 matchup next week at Danville, which I'm sure will be a good one.
Hand off to the fullback Field. He'll have a first down out to the 45.
Takes the ball across the 45-yard line. Dragons ripping up chunks of yards.
So we'll see here. Again, no real changes yet on either side. Wenrick in no hurry, as you might expect. And it's going to be Jeremiah Davis, still on his feet to the 45. Pickup of 9.
Again, you think for the Green Dragons here, or at least for Wenrick specifically, it's got to be a little tougher now, trying to work that clock without the play clock being on. But so now he's got to look for the official there in the secondary that put his hand up. That usually signals you got 5 seconds left. So you'll see if he's watching that official before he gets up to the line.
I'm still kind of curious what happened there. Whether it was a technical issue,
yeah,
or the officials or anything like that. But now it's going to be Quinn Michaels. So 3 plays on this drive. It was Field, then it's Davis, then it's Michaels, and you got 2 first downs. Now you're inside the 40.
Yeah, and I just got another update here, Jim. Jersey Shore back on top, 21-14, 10:40 to play in the game there in Shamokin at Kemp Memorial there.
And Dan, I can't remember the last update we gave on Danville, but it's 28-10 now.
Okay. I think the last one it was 21-10, so a little change there.
North Schuylkill got themselves on the board. They still have quite a deficit to recover from, but nevertheless, the Spartans continue to fight. And Troy maintains a healthy lead over the Indians. Good job there by Matt Golichik, stringing out Field, trying to strip at the football. And it looks like Kimsel on the stop, no gain.
No gain.
Yeah, we'll see what the no rush here from the Dragons. We're to see maybe some different backs in that backfield here, as you saw Field come to the sideline.
We approached it. Will be about 5 minutes left when Wenrick snaps this one. And it's going to be Davis. And Davis is still on his feet. And Davis is going to have his 5th touchdown of the night. And it's 38-7. The Red Tornadoes have no answer.
Yeah. I mean, Davis does such a great job of just trusting his blockers, Jim. He gets into the mess there, and there's just a lot of green jerseys out in front of him, and he follows them until he finds a crease, and then he gets to the sideline and he wins a foot race. Be curious to see what his, we always talk about it. It's tough for Jose sometimes to do individual stats on the fly, but we're curious to see what Mr. Davis ends up with on the game here.
Hoover's kick is good. 39-7. And Dan, the thing I'm thinking about here is, sometimes you start how you finish.
Yeah.
Or you finish how you start, however you're going to look at that. And it's, as Jeremiah Davis scores his 5th touchdown of the game, I can't help but go back to all the way week 1 at North Schuylkill with Luke Miller and his 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. And Luke Miller actually, I believe it was last week, broke the single season rushing touchdown record for the Spartans over there.
Doesn't surprise me.
Which was held by, I believe it was John Rapinski. Back in 2014 it was set.
Who's feeding you information?
I work with a lot of guys from Schuylkill County over there.
That's pretty good stuff. That's spot on.
Yeah. But that was, actually, I work with Luke Miller's dad. He's a great guy. And You know, it's funny. Every time I talk to him, he's like, yeah, it seems like Luke's doing a pretty good job. He's just super modest about it. I mean, I'd be bragging to everybody if my son was doing what he's doing out there. So a lot of respect for Mr. Miller. I always call him. He always yells at me for calling him that, but I got a lot of respect for that guy.
So 4:51 left, 39-7 Green Dragons. Again, we want to thank tonight's sponsor for the second half, Century Services and Support. Century Support and Services, excuse me.
And a little shout out here for the, well, we'll see what, all right. A little shout out here for the folks that have been kind of feeding me information here with the scores. In the first half there, it was Mr. Muldowney. Moley was giving me some updates there. And now this is Ray Betleon, old baseball coach, Ray Betleon, giving me the updates here.
Dan's plugged into the community.
It's hard not to be. The tight-knit group, you know, and small town. You gotta love that small town vibes. Everybody pretty much knows everybody.
Marshall to throw. It's be out to Lukuski. Lukuski's gonna take a shot. Does a good job hanging on to the football. He gets out to the 25. It's a version of that kind of bubble screen that we haven't seen in quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
269 yards.
Now, just Dan and I had to give each other a side eye there for a second because we talked about the gentleman in the press box here, and he's been a good time. It's very energetic calls, but in that case, now Marshall will complete one to Tate Adams, and Adams is going to get up across the 35. He just seemed to indicate Jeremiah Davis has 269 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Now, not official, can't really provide any validity to where that's at, but I think that would be a bold thing for him to go out on a limb on. So
yeah, and I mean, if you're scoring 5 touchdowns, that means you're touching the ball a pretty good amount of time. So he's probably close 18, 20 touches as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising with how well he's ran the ball and how well this entire Green Dragons offense has played to see some individual stats like that.
Incomplete pass for Lukuski. 2nd and 10 from the 35, 3:44 remaining here. And, you know, again, as it starts to wind down and the reality of where this goes starts to set in a little bit, we want to just make sure we thank each and every one of you who've chosen to spend your Friday nights with us. We certainly appreciate it for all your support through your sponsorships, through your brick buying, through your views, all that kind of stuff. It really helps. As a good ball to Adams and a good reception by Adams, and we get across midfield. He's still on his feet. Doesn't quit.
Yeah. Doesn't go down either, which is pretty impressive.
Again, Marshall getting the ball out of his hand quick, and it looks like we should note Aiden Dietz is in the backfield with Marshall. And it'll be now Chase Belichick, and he's going to get a block from Lukuski.
And you know, you have to look at this Red Tornado team and really give them credit for what they've done this year. I mean, they've overcome a lot of adversity. They were down in a lot of games, that they came back. They fought hard. They definitely showed that they are resilient. I mean, you talk about some of the injuries that have happened throughout the year, and they found ways to win. I mean, they're gonna end up finishing this season out at 8-4 as the number 3 seed in district playoffs, which is pretty impressive when your number 1 all-state running back goes down in the first game of the season.
Adams, first down to the 30. Yeah, Dan, I think there's a lot of positives, of course, always to take away. It's going to sting tonight. It's going to sting tomorrow. It might sting for a week or two, but eventually these young men will be able to take a step back and realize that they accomplished something pretty cool.
Absolutely.
They're part of the 900th win.
Yeah.
Which is always, you know, you'll have that forever. I think we were at Supper Club a couple weeks ago, and Coach Veach was able to talk about some of the milestone victories that he was a part of and how he remembered them. So, Coach Veach can attest to it.
Yeah, and I mean, I was on that 800th win team, and you're absolutely right, Jim. That's something that you'll never forget. You always remember that. And just another score update here. Troy continues to extend their lead. Now lead Southern Columbia 62-20.
You have to think those Trojans are exercising some demons of, all the times that teams, District 4, Southern Tier teams like ourselves and the Tigers and everybody else went up there in district playoffs and really did a number.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Warrior Run looking like they're heading towards defeating Tawanda. They're up 43-20 in the fourth quarter. That Northwestern Lehigh North School game has gone final. It ended up 36-7.
Incomplete, looking for Adams on that one.
Landon Adams.
Yep.
Are we going to see the? Oh, okay. This is a wholesale change. I thought we were going to see the field goal unit coming out.
Wholesale change
For
on
Shoppy.
4th and a yard. Minute 18 left. Dan, you got an update on that Shamokin score?
It is still, as of right now, 21-14. I don't have a time, but it's 21-14, fourth quarter. I think Shooter's going to have that first down.
You will. There it is, signal. So good. Again, we talked about Shooter.
A good game last week.
Yes, he did. And I think that's always the positives here, again, that we always take away from it, is that Coach Darrett does always do a good job of making sure his young guys get opportunities out there in big-time minutes. And here you got a bunch of guys with a chance to play in a district playoff game.
Yeah, a district semifinal game.
And this time Brokenshire is going to keep it himself, and he's going to try to get the edge. Nowhere to go. He's going to be smothered. I think that's Hoover.
Yeah.
And we'll see if the Red Tornadoes want to run another play. I'm not sure they'll need to.
And I just got another update here from Ray Betleon. 21-14 Jersey Shore with 5 minutes to go in that game. So we're probably not going to be with you guys when that one goes final, but that's definitely one to keep your eye on. That one-score lead for Jersey Shore currently in that District 4 4A title game.
So that snap will signify the end of the night here, as the clock will run out on the Red Tornado season, and they'll fall to the Lewisburg Green Dragons 39-7 here in Milton. Now, I think one thing, that we've talked about a lot that we want to kind of reference, unfortunately, the Red Tornadoes are going to come up short tonight. Another seasonal end just shy of that district championship that these guys so crave.
Yeah.
And so do the senior members of the football team, the cheerleaders, the band, TV studio. Dan and I just want to wish you well, kind of all your future endeavors, and we look forward to welcoming you into the ranks of MCA alum in the spring, or I guess maybe the summer, whatever you want to call it. But what you've been able to accomplish here on the field and in the classroom is critical, and you're making friends and communities that Dan was just talking about. I mean,
yeah.
Coach Betleon coached us in Little League. Mr. Wildowny's been around forever. That's a real thing that doesn't go anywhere. So, like I said, tonight maybe didn't end how you wanted it to end, but you'll get over it, and you'll realize you accomplished a heck of a lot out here.
Yeah. I mean, being a part of the MCA alum, it's a great thing. It's a we talk all year round about tradition. The tradition that this school has, and you get a little bit more of a look at it when you become an alumni. You get to kind of look at it from an external view. You're not a part of it directly. It's more indirect at that point, but you get to really see how important it is. And these guys, as you mentioned, Jim, they've built friendships for life, for the rest of their life.
Yep. So I think, I'm not sure if Jose will get stats or not, but at this point it might be a good place to kind of sign off for the 2024 season, Dan.
Yeah.
So again, we want to just make sure, that we I want to take a minute to thank all of you the MCA faithful. We make the trip to the Silver Bowl on Friday nights. You listen to us if we're not around. We do sponsorships, maybe you watch, and also you might be watching on Wednesday nights. Plus our sponsors again tonight, Hollywood Pizza, and tonight and second half Century Support Services. So again, we thank all of you for everything. Your support's unmatched.
Yeah.
And your contribution to the cause is what kind of makes these Friday nights as special as they are. So like I said, maybe that might be the last. That'll be the last time you hear from us this season.
Yeah.
Again, it's our 7th year doing this. It's been a great year. We want to thank Mr. Tresker, Mrs. Sakaitis, and of course all the kids here that make these Friday nights just as enjoyable as they can possibly be. So again, for the last time this season, I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
For Jose Gonzalo, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast. And so wherever you are, whatever you're doing in the off season, stay safe, and as always, go Big Red.